Jones given all day. He's got Parker. Devontae.
This upcoming season is gonna be a tough one for a few players out there. Pressure is beginning to ramp up for a lot of guys out there. If they don't start performing soon, well, they could find themselves as a backup or maybe even out of the league entirely. But hey, maybe it doesn't have to come to that. So long as they can turn things around here in 2023, then everything will turn out just fine. The NFL is not exactly known for being the most player-friendly league. It has punitive player conduct policies, the game takes a huge physical toll on the players, and of course most guys' careers have an extremely short shelf life. Sometimes all it takes is a couple of bad seasons before the league at large gives up on a guy. And that, my friends, is exactly what these 10 players are going to be up against here in 2023. Now, without further ado, let us get right into it.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of knew. I just didn't know it was going to be maybe as much or as little. I guess it's my game plan, right?
Kadarius Tony. I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of getting tired of hearing about how Kadarius Tony has the potential to be a game-changing wide receiver one. I get there was a lot of excitement about Tony coming out of the University of Florida. I mean, on paper, the guy should be a top talent in the league. He was in pretty rarefied air physically, posting a 4.37 second 40-yard dash and a 39.5-inch vertical leap. There is a reason that the New York Giants used a first-round pick on the young wide receiver. The guy was and is a freak athlete. But you know, there always seemed to be a huge disconnect between his potential and his actual output. I'm not sure if it's a lack of commitment or poor fundamentals or whatever it is, but even dating back to college, his production wasn't exactly impressive. He caught just 120 balls and 12 touchdowns during his 4 years in Gainesville. Safe to say that the Giants drafted his potential, not his resume. Like I said though, the potential really hasn't materialized at the NFL level either. During his rookie season in New York, he made just 4 starts and recorded only 39 catches for 420 yards and no touchdowns. And to be honest, it really hasn't gotten much better since then. The Giants were so sick of Tony's antics that they ended up trading him to the Kansas City Chiefs just 2 games into the 2022 season. If that weren't enough of an indictment on Tony, how about the fact that being slotted into that high-powered Chiefs offense still only managed to make 14 catches in 7 games? Look, if you can't put up numbers with Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback, then frankly, I don't know what to tell you. Kadarius did manage to redeem himself slightly by making a couple big plays during this year's Super Bowl, but it is high time for him to become a steady contributor during the regular season as well. If he can't find a way to do that in 2023 for the Chiefs, I would not be shocked to see him out of KC and maybe even out of the league sooner rather than later. Elijah Moore has had one of the more puzzling starts to an NFL career in recent memory. The New York Jets took him at the top of the second round, 34th overall in the 2021 draft, and he's had flashes in which he's looked like a top-notch NFL wideout. Unfortunately, those flashes were marred by inconsistent play and what appeared to be an inability to fit into a system and get along with his fellow players as well as his coaches. What was even more concerning, however, is the issue seemed to get worse and worse as his tenure in New York progressed. The opposite of what you want to have happen. It got to the point that Moore was so disgruntled he ended up requesting a trade, something the Jets thought better of at the time, instead benching the whiny wideout. Once the offseason rolled around, though, the Jets decided enough was enough, and they dealt him to the Browns along with a 3rd-round pick in exchange for Cleveland's 2nd-rounder. Moore is now joining a Browns team that has a lot to prove, specifically its offense and its embattled quarterback, Deshaun Watson. So, if he's unable to fit in there and contribute consistently with all that's at stake, yeah, it could be more bad news for Moore's career. Mac Jones. I don't know what was more surprising, Mac Jones' Pro Bowl performance during his rookie year or his sophomore slump in 2022. Also, I don't know which is the real Mac Jones. Is it the guy who stepped up in a big way during the first season that the Patriots played without Tom Brady in 2 decades by leading the offense and managing games so efficiently that the Pats finished 10-7 in a year when expectations were as low as they'd ever been? Or is he the visibly frustrated, error-prone QB that we saw get replaced for a stretch last year by the unheralded Bailey Zappi? Well, we're going to find out in 2023. As a now 3rd-year starter, Mac will no longer be insulated from real criticism, in part because the days of rookie mistakes are long gone, but also because his human shield, Matt Patricia, is no longer calling the shots on that offense. Granted, Mac and the Pats have the deck stacked against them in what will be a very, very competitive AFC East. But they will have to rise to the occasion because, well, there is a lot at stake for the organization and its young quarterback this year. Chase Young. Expectations were sky high for Chase Young coming out of Ohio State. Washington took him second overall in the 2020 draft, and people around the league thought the freakish edge rusher could be a generational talent. And you know, in 2020, it seemed like all those people were going to be proven correct. Young had a heck of a rookie season, recording 7.5 sacks, forcing 4, and recovering 3 fumbles, and totaling 44 tackles. This earned him a trip to the Pro Bowl and Defensive Rookie of the Year honors. Year 2, however, well, it really couldn't have gone much worse. Chase Young was essentially a non-factor through the first 9 games of the year, recording just 1.5 sacks and 26 tackles, then he proceeded to tear his ACL. Unfortunately, 2022 wasn't much better. In fact, it was even worse. Yeah, he played just 3 games and made only 5 tackles, then he tore his ACL again, this time also rupturing his patella tendon. Now heading into his 4th NFL season, the once promising defensive end's career is very much hanging in the balance. I mean, Washington went as far as to decline his 5th-year option, making the 2023 season the epitome of a prove-it year. Javon Kinlaw. Javon Kinlaw has had a rather dubious start to his NFL career. The San Francisco 49ers defensive tackle has played just 24 games in 3 seasons since San Fran took him 14th overall in the draft. And to make matters even worse, he really hasn't done much to excite the team or its fans when he has been on the field. Kinlaw has totaled just 1.5 sacks and 45 tackles across his 3 professional seasons. Not exactly the ROI you'd be looking for out of a first-round pick. The Niners have made their stance on Kinlaw clear by declining the 5th-year option, meaning that the D-tackle will be a free agent at the conclusion of this season. Kinlaw has been so inconsistent that there really isn't even a guarantee that he gets much of an opportunity this year. But when he does, he'll have to make sure to capitalize on it bad, because he really does not have a lot of rope left with the 49ers or frankly the rest of the NFL. With another week showing, Kinlaw could be out of the league. Simply put, Javon needs to step his game up or his career could be over before it ever truly starts. J.C. Jackson. Heading into 2022, there was a lot of excitement in Los Angeles about the Chargers. Well, okay, maybe not in Los Angeles, but, you know, wherever it is that the few remaining Chargers fans actually live. And you know, the hype wasn't just around the team's stud quarterback Justin Herbert, but it was really just the team as a whole. And J.C. Jackson was a big reason why. Yeah, they were going to be up against a very challenging AFC West, but the team was really rounding into form. The offense was already in a great place with the aforementioned Justin Herbert, as well as Austin Eckler and Keenan Allen. And with Joey Bosa up front chasing down quarterbacks and the acquisition of the former Patriots Pro Bowl quarterback, it seemed like for the first time in God knows how long that the defense could actually be something special. Unfortunately, 2022 was not J.C. Jackson's year. He was limited to just 5 games and didn't look particularly impressive when he was on the field. It was a shocking fall for a guy who had totaled 17 picks and 98 tackles during his last 2 seasons in New England. Jackson is going to need a big year in 2023 to get his career back on track. And you know, I do wish him the best. Baker Mayfield. Yeah, Baker Mayfield is running out of chances, plain and simple. The former number 1 overall pick in the 2018 draft has really only had 1 good season thus far, and 2020 is getting further and further in the rearview mirror. When you look at the totality of his resume, it is extremely underwhelming. He's gone 31-38, and the tape is worse than the record. His accuracy seems to come and go at random, he can't protect the ball consistently enough to be an effective game manager, and yeah, he really hasn't proven himself capable of winning games on his own. To make matters even worse, Mayfield has found new and inventive ways to ostracize his teammates and put himself on an island. Look, if you're not going to be a good quarterback, at the very least you can do is find a way to contribute as a leader on the team. Since that 11-5 year in 2020, things have gotten scary bad for Baker. He's gone 10-24 and is now going to be playing for his 4th team in 3 years. I'm just saying, if Baker can't put it together with the Buccaneers, he honestly might be out of the league in the blink of an eye, because while he may be better than a lot of backup QBs around the league, he just isn't the kind of personality that you'd want as the understudy for your starter. Chase Claypool. Early on in his career, Chase Claypool looked like he might become the next great Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver. The former second-round pick out of Notre Dame had a great rookie season, using every inch of that 6'4" and 240-pound frame to impose his will on opposing defensive backs. Claypool hauled in 62 catches for 873 yards and 9 touchdowns, despite starting just 6 games. But with each passing year, he continues to regress. At first, people chalked it up to the quarterback situation in Pittsburgh. But, you know, it's starting to become more apparent that the off-the-field distractions and Claypool's lack of maturity are just really starting to catch up with him. The Steelers eventually decided that, they'd had enough and shipped him out of Chicago partway through the 2022 season. People expected him to be a game changer for that Bears offense, but he was extremely underwhelming in his 7 games, catching just 14 passes for 140 yards. Well, now that Justin Fields has emerged as Chicago's franchise quarterback, Claypool is running out of excuses and time. Jimmy Garoppolo. It feels like few guys have been better set up for success and done less than Jimmy Garoppolo. He parlayed 2 wins for the Patriots at the peak of their powers into a huge deal and opportunity to play in Kyle Shanahan's dynamic, quarterback-friendly offense in San Fran, where he was surrounded by immense talent for 6 whole years. The team, they had a ton of regular season success, going 38-17 during his starts, and they even made it to the Super Bowl in 2020. But questions have continued to swirl around about how much credit Jimmy G really deserves for any of that. This became extremely apparent in 2022 when he was toggled in and out of the starting lineup, in part because of another series of pesky injuries and, inconsistent play. Unfortunately for Garoppolo, he ran out of rope in San Fran, and the team has decided to move forward with Brock Purdy at the helm. Now, he's out of the Garden of Eden and getting slotted into a chaotic Raiders organization. We will finally see if Jimmy can be a winner on his own, or if outside the friendly confines of Shanahan and Belichick's coaching, he's just another mediocre quarterback. I guess stay tuned. Mekhi Becton. 2023 is going to be a make-or-break year for the Jets' third-year offensive lineman. His first 2 NFL seasons were marred by injuries, and now that Aaron Rodgers has been added into the mix, the pressure in New York is as high as it's ever been in over a decade. New York's former 11th overall pick needs to find a way to stay on the field and to perform when he's out there. That is, assuming he's able to get out there on a consistent basis, because even if he can stay healthy, he's expected to have to earn a starting spot during camp. And not at left tackle where the team drafted him because, hey, the Jets signed veteran Dwayne Brown. Now Becton is going to have to earn reps at right tackle, a position he's been outspoken about not wanting to play. Though, with the Jets declining his 5th-year option, Becton really doesn't have much of a choice. He's going to have to take whatever he can get and make the best of it during this pivotal season. But which NFL player do you think has a make-or-break season ahead of them in 2023? Is there anyone that we may have missed? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. And hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.